Hello, this video is just going to go over the next couple of pages in this lesson. So in the previous couple pages, you would have gone over, what a personal response to a text, what it looks like, and, given an example using one of the short stories from the short story unit. What you are being asked to do in your assignment is to do a personal response to text essay for Romeo and Juliet, the play. So there will be a video as well as like exactly what the assignment entails in the assignment section, but just wanted to talk and give a little bit of frame of reference for these next two pages and what they mean. So this page here is just talking about kind of the steps you need to take once you know the topic. So we've kind of talked about this already. Once you know what the topic question is, you want to kind of highlight what those keywords are. So the topic question for your assignment is, what does the text suggest to you about an individual in the midst of a conflict? So you might want to start by looking up in a dictionary what some of those words mean, like midst and or conflict. And so that kind of happens here, so you can have a look at those later about what those words might mean. Once you figure out and look up some of the synonyms and definitions of those words, you want to kind of restate the question in a way that makes sense to you. So, for example, what does the play suggest about the way an individual acts when conflict surrounds them? So, okay, that makes sense. In Romeo and Juliet, how are these characters acting once there's conflict all around them? In this case, there's a pretty big societal conflict happening within the community. Then you want to restate the question as a statement. So right now, we're still asking it as a topic question, but how could I make a statement about it? So in the play Romeo and Juliet, the playwright William Shakespeare, want to note we have the tag here. Play is genre, title Romeo and Juliet, author William Shakespeare. Suggests that an individual who lives in the midst of a conflict, and then you would continue with what your observation is going to be about that. So you can maybe come up with a few ideas because people are going to change throughout a play. And so you want to start brainstorming, what are some of examples that you can talk about individuals who are living in this conflict. What do they do? What happens to them? How do they behave? What kind of decisions do they make? What kind of events do they help to make occur? So just start thinking about what are some examples of, individuals who are in the middle of a conflict aren't just static. They don't just do nothing. Lots of decisions are made. Then what you want to do is think about the journey the main character makes. So how would you characterize the main character at the beginning regarding the topic? Then what's the struggle that occurs? So what's kind of happening in the middle part with regards to the topic? So again, in the midst of a conflict. And finally, what does the main character realize or not realize by the end about the topic? And again, the topic is, someone who's living in the middle of a conflict, how does their perspective change? Or does it not change, and why does it not change? Then you want to review a thesis statement that you're going to create. Again, it would have to be about the topic. What are you saying about individuals in the midst of a conflict? What happens to them? And make sure that all of those things that you're talking about match up with that. On the next page here is an example of a planning and how to map out your ideas. So obviously, this is your thesis statement about your perspective of what the topic is. And your, opinion about the topic, what you're going to be arguing about the topic. You'll notice that this looks slightly different than the videos in the previous lesson about a personal response to text, but essentially it's the same. The only way it changes is that we're actually looking for 3 pieces of proof. So we're looking for proof at the beginning, proof in the middle, and the final realization. So we're just adding something. We're talking about, beginning, middle, and end of the play. How is this person's reaction, perspective, feelings changing from beginning, middle, and end? Then your personal example, obviously, if you can come up with 3 examples, that would be great as well. And then your conclusion. So just know that when you start planning your ideas, you shouldn't just sit down and write your essay. You should actually sit down and map out your ideas. So that's just a little bit of a quick preview into what your assignment's going to be and kind of what these pages mean in that context. If you have any questions about any of this, just reach out to your instructor.